if Harang 2 gets lucky and he just stays on the high ground of one of the paths, that he would have the advantage over Doctor.K. But just like you said, he just doesn't have the Dragoon count. And now 3 more coming out. It looks like he's going to try and do some sort of sneaky flank, but it's going to be a long time until more reinforcements come out. And now it looks like Harang 2's units are kind of stranded out here, and here comes the 2 Dark Templars, but joining the army a little bit late. And that single goon there looks like both players migrating pretty heavily there. But you know, Harang 2 really needs to take this battle, and he does actually. He takes down a lot of Doctor.K's units. He does have some weak Dragoons there, but he does have 6 of them, it looks like. And Doctor.K forced now to retreat his units, but it looks like, no, actually he hasn't even started the Nexus. So Harang 2 definitely doing a good move there. I mean, really the issue was how much did he cut probes there, and it seems like his probe saturation is okay, so I mean it's pretty reasonable. He has an AFK probe there, another AFK probe still at his proxy. I'm not sure what it's doing there. He should probably return that back to mining. I mean, he has the huge tech disadvantage because he doesn't have observers out, but I mean he pretty much just put down 4 gateways and made a bunch of units and was able to kind of keep up, and he's probably gonna, I mean I guess he's gonna go for an expo break here. I don't know how effective this is gonna be though. I mean right next to Doctor.K's base. Harang 2 looks like way too aggressive there. I mean he doesn't have observers though, so he just doesn't know what kind of unit count that Doctor.K had, and I guess maybe hoping that the units would kind of get caught off in the choke point with better positioning, but you know, just he's not going to get it done. And even though he took that one battle, Doctor.K putting up his expansion while Harang 2 putting down a 4th gateway instead of expanding or increasing his tech, so still looking pretty bad for Harang 2 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to go for an expo break, his only chance is really going to be...
Proxy robotics.
He's proxying the robotics, basically. His only real chance to break this is if he just starts pumping out speed zealots and gets 2 or 3 waves of speed zealots out of his 4 gateways. His speed zealots are really effective against Dragoons, but even then it's going to be hard to break because Doctor.K has 4 gateways of his own pumping out, and if he pumps out, I mean, he has the observer. If he sees him pumping out speed zealots and gets just a couple of slow zealots to counter that and uses defensive positioning, he's going to be able to hold easily. Especially if he makes an AI pylon as well. Oh, and a great goon, yeah. You just cannot break a defense like that. There's just no way. You'd have to have a hugely overwhelming force. I mean, when you have the opponent has a great concave like that, and he's got the AI pylon, that's just a really effective defense. That pylon out there, for those of you, some of you might not know, that pylon, what it actually does, it looks like he's actually going for some kind of break. Oh, he's just going to pick off the pylon. What that pylon does is if he were just to attack move into the natural and attack move into that army, a lot of his Dragoons would stay behind and start attacking the pylon. Oh man, I don't know why he's attacking here. He's just has way less Actually, he has a lot more Dragoons than I thought, but still. I think Harang 2 definitely was at an advantage here. I don't know why Harang 2 moved his Dragoons out. I guess he wanted to try to press his advantage, but he's definitely going to clean up this army here. I mean, that was just a bad move by Harang 2. Doctor.K crushing him completely. So, I mean, Doctor.K is taking a commanding lead in this game. It looks like this is pretty much going to spell the end for Harang 2. Nice try getting cute, but just too little too late. I think if you wanted to go for that expo break, he really would have done himself a favor by building some speed zealots or maybe even getting Templars, but pure Dragoon versus a guy who has more Dragoons is really just not the most effective way to win a game.
Yeah, and one thing to point out too is that, you know, even though Doctor.K had a pretty big advantage there, it was definitely cushioned a little bit because he was forced to go for that forge, go for the observers, build a bunch of cannons, you know, so, you know, Doctor.K really wasn't so massively far ahead because of rock, paper, scissors. I mean, he still played pretty well. His control was pretty good, but I mean, that's just the advantage of having that large probe count. And I mean, when you're in the position of after a failed proxy, I mean, you're pretty much done at that point, just because Harang 2 really had only one option would be to put down the 4 gateways and attack after he had started throwing those down. And Doctor.K, because of that extra probe count, not only could match his gateway count, but could put up a nexus of his own, so he could pretty much sit in his base and have the reinforcing advantage, which I think is real big on this map. And a shuttle going out, and I can't imagine that's for a zealot bomb, so I think he has a robotic support somewhere. He's actually going for proxy gateway. Yeah, proxy gateway into proxy DTs into proxy reaver. So, I mean, probably the strongest proxy build I've ever seen. I mean, he has 4 different tech buildings, in one proxy pylon, and there's the Reaver there. But I mean, Doctor.K even has cannons in his base at this point, so it did get spotted by the observer, and I can't imagine, I mean, unless he has some, you know, bugged Reaver or some just phenomenal Reaver control, I don't think there's any way he can break this. Dr.K's Expo already up online, and Harang 2 still hasn't started his Expo. So many Dragoons, the probe to scout, and Harang 2, I mean, realizing that he's in trouble here. I mean, not even engaging, just hoping that Doctor.K just one move, two move, three moves right into his units and not even attacks. I mean, he's out of options at this point. I think Harang 2 is going to be knocked out of the MSL.
I mean, he's going to wait for the second Reaver. Having the second Reaver makes a huge difference, but it's still not going to be enough. I mean, there's just such an overwhelming unit lead and macro lead. I mean, basically, Harang 2 would have to kill him outright at this point, and there's just absolutely no way that that's going to happen unless Doctor.K fucks up his micro completely. But you know, I just want to throw it out there that Harang 2 definitely did have one option after failing the proxy. I mean, he had the DT tech and he had him contained. He should have just gone for a Forge Expand and tech the Storm, but for some reason he chose to be aggressive, and then this is what's going to happen. Oh, the Reaver bugging. Oh man, getting the Reaver and the shuttle. That just was really awful for Harang 2. Exactly what he did not need, and he's going to lose this battle here. Just way too many units streaming out of the massive amounts of gateways for Doctor.K. And I mean, a lot of cute attempts here, but Doctor.K played pretty well. I mean, he saw everything coming. He played really safe and prevented all the cute shit. Apart from losing the one army of wow, that was a
yeah, was he like
Harang 2 almost looked like he was going to throw up there. I mean, I'd be pretty disappointed.
I'm surprised Harang 2 didn't get Zealot speed there on the last attack. He didn't even have speed research. I mean, just like you said, I mean, it's pretty much textbook after you expand, or after you fail a proxy. I mean, you have that stuff. You have the Storm research, you have the Citadel, you might as well use it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it didn't make much of a difference, but I guess it kind of surprised me that he didn't have leg speed, considering he'd probably rely on reinforcements to win that battle. But, you know, Harang 2 probably a little bit crushed or more crushed than we thought he was going to be. It seemed like he just, like, I don't know, he just like threw up on his keyboard or something. He just seems pretty hurt there. And Doctor.K is going to move on for a chance to play Quanro to get out of the group. And we haven't seen Doctor.K's PVZ yet, but, you know, I'm assuming it's going to be okay, but I don't know if it's going to be at the level Freeze is at. So I think Quanro is going to have a chance to redeem himself in his PVZ in order to get out of this, or ZVP, excuse me, to get out of this group.
Yeah, I think Quanro showed himself to have a pretty strong ZVP in the last couple of games, even though he's not as good as Free, and I mean, no one would have expected him to be able to beat Free. He's got one of the best PVZs in the world. I think he still looked pretty good, and I'm definitely going to give him the nod over Doctor.K in this game. I'm expecting Quanro to win. I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to see how good Doctor.K's PVZ is, but I definitely have to give the edge to Quanro. Just from so far from the two games we've seen him in this group. And Doctor.K, as much as he played well to win this game, I still wasn't terribly impressed. He just kind of played good enough to not get cheesed and lose to this extreme cheese by Harang 2. And you know what I mean? I think this could have even been a much closer game. I think Harang 2 just really poor decision making. Like you said, I mean, if you have a Citadel and you have a Templar tech already, why not go with that? Like, at that point, use that to your advantage. Get Storm, get leg speed, do a Forge Expand, do something with it. Like, you're already behind economically, and tech switching to Dragoon range Robo style is just really just another way to put yourself even farther behind in the game. And I think he was going to be behind no matter what, but I think that's kind of what ended up really like cementing the loss for him. So he has only himself to blame. Good job to Doctor.K for not falling prey to any of that, and I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. Do you have any final thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I actually want to throw this in there. Kind of an interesting find. I got lucky there on the related videos. I clicked on it just as we were talking, and this is a game in the round of 64 that Doctor.K played, because I haven't seen any of his game I was interested to see, and he actually knocked July out of the MSL in the round of 64. He knocked him out on Byzantium 2 with some pretty strong Sayer speedlot play. So, I mean, I guess I don't want to knock Doctor.K too much anymore, because, I mean, he knocked out July, whose ZVP, you know, although his ZVT's been kind of struggling, I mean, he won the last, not the last OSL, but a recent OSL against Best, who's been a really excellent player lately. So I mean, Doctor.K maybe is actually a pretty strong up and coming player. So after seeing this, I'm kind of looking forward to see him play against Quanro. And with that, I just wanted to throw that in there, I guess. But, that wraps it up, and I guess we're going to try and peace out and bring you guys the very last video. And see you later.
Yep. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.